Today we're going to add the chi-square tab to our statistics tools. Let's pull that in. Chi-square. Let's add that to the business here. G chi-square. And let's add the tab to the main app. Chi-square. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Streamlit run app.py. So I've added the new chi-square tab. In our spreadsheet, there is a chi-square data set. Let me open that so you can see what that looks like. The chi-square. So you can have as many categories this way as you want and as many categories this way as you want. So it will look at that, pull that in, and it will create totals of each row and totals of each column, and then the total of all items together. So the chi-square spreadsheet, it will compute the expected values of each cell. We got 19, we expect 22.8. We got 16, we expect 15.66, and so on, of all the values. So the actual observed values and then the expected values. And then we can compute the chi-square for each portion of those. And then the alpha value, the chi-square test statistic, the critical value, what that would be, and then the degrees of freedom, and then the p-value for that. And here's the graph. Okay, so let's take a look at the code that's involved in there. Notice it's just two columns of information. So when we go to the chi-square, we import our libraries that we're going to be using. There is a title called chi-square. In the sidebar, we have a chi-square test, and then we have a goodness of fit test. They're very similar, but not exactly the same. In the chi-square goodness of fit test, we have the observed values, and then we have our expected values, and then that comes up with the chi-square values. Different spreadsheet, there's a goodness of fit spreadsheet. So you got your observed values, and then you have a ratio of what the ideal is, and then from that we can get the expected values. Okay, so let's look at the first one, the chi-square test, two columns. We grab the spreadsheet. We want the chi sheet out of that Google spreadsheet. We pull it into a data frame. SP, can't remember what SP is. SciPy. Okay, so it has a chi-square test in SciPy. Comes up with the critical value, the p-value, the degrees of freedom, expected values, and then we can dump that into a data frame, and so I can display that data frame, and we get our totals, our observed values. In the second column, we take our data frame and we get our critical value. There's our little table that we have, this table right here. The chi-square test statistic, critical value, degrees of freedom, and the p-value, and then we display that data set. And then we go and we graph what that curve looks like, that chi-square curve. And then we go to the goodness of fit test. We pull in the goodness of fit table. We have our observed values. We do the sum of those observed values. Let's see, goodness of fit. We take the ratio and then we can divide it up into expected values. And then we can compute in the second column our statistics, the test statistic, the critical value, the degrees of freedom, the p-value, and then we graph, we graph that curve. So that's how those two tests work, the chi-square test and the goodness of fit test. Come up with a p-value. All right, and that ends that video. Oh wait, let's update to the GitHub. Update, commit, sync the changes. All right, so that ends that video.